Good evening. Tonight, we're taking a closer look at the rising tensions in the Middle East involving Iran, the United States, and Israel. Over the past several days, developments in the region have raised serious concerns among global leaders, military analysts, and financial markets. While officials are urging calm, the situation remains fluid and potentially volatile. Here's what we know so far, and why it matters far beyond the region itself. Recent reports indicate increased military readiness and strong political messaging from multiple sides. Statements coming from Tehran suggest heightened alert status, while officials in Washington and Jerusalem have reaffirmed their commitment to regional security. Although no full-scale war has been declared, the pattern of strategic positioning, intelligence warnings, and military signaling has created a tense atmosphere. Defense analysts say this type of escalation often begins with indirect moves, warnings, limited operations, or symbolic shows of force, before either stabilizing through diplomacy or expanding into broader confrontation. At this stage, much of the activity appears strategic rather than accidental. Each side is carefully calculating its next move. The Middle East has long been one of the most strategically sensitive regions in the world. It sits at the center of global energy routes, military alliances, and long-standing political rivalries. Any instability there can quickly ripple outward. If tensions were to escalate further, global oil markets could react immediately. Even the perception of risk in the region has historically been enough to move prices upward. Beyond economics, there's also the question of international alliances. The United States maintains strong partnerships in the region, while Iran has its own network of regional influence. A direct confrontation could draw in additional actors, intentionally or unintentionally. That's why world leaders are watching closely, not just for what happens next, but for how quickly it happens. Military experts emphasize that both sides understand the cost of open conflict. A large-scale war would carry enormous economic, political, and human consequences. Because of that, what we often see instead are limited operations, cyber activity, strategic deterrence, and proxy engagements, rather than immediate full confrontation. At the same time, domestic political pressures can influence decision-making. Leadership on all sides must balance strength with restraint, projecting power without triggering uncontrollable escalation. Diplomatic channels are reportedly active behind the scenes. Even during periods of tension, communication lines often remain open to prevent miscalculation. Still, misinterpretations or rapid responses can change the dynamic quickly. History has shown that in high-tension environments, small events can sometimes escalate faster than expected. Financial markets tend to respond to uncertainty. Investors monitor geopolitical flashpoints carefully, especially when energy supply routes are involved. If shipping lanes or oil production infrastructure were threatened, global supply chains could feel the impact. That would not only affect fuel prices, but potentially inflation trends worldwide. Additionally, NATO allies and regional defense partners may reassess their strategic posture depending on how events unfold. Cybersecurity experts also warn that modern conflicts are no longer limited to physical battlefields. Digital infrastructure, communications networks, and financial systems can all become indirect targets during geopolitical standoffs. So while the headlines focus on military movement, the broader implications stretch far beyond traditional warfare. Despite the tension, diplomatic solutions remain possible. Historically, even severe crises in the region have eventually moved toward negotiation once both sides assessed the risks. International mediators, back-channel diplomacy, and economic pressure mechanisms are tools frequently used to de-escalate. The key question now is timing. Will diplomatic engagement outpace military signaling, or will strategic posturing intensify before talks gain momentum?
For now, official statements suggest caution, but actions will ultimately matter more than words. In the coming days and weeks, analysts will be watching for several indicators. First, any confirmation of direct military engagement. Second, changes in troop deployment or naval positioning. Third, emergency sessions or coordinated statements from global powers. If tensions stabilize, markets may calm and diplomatic discussions could expand. If not, the region could enter a more dangerous phase of confrontation. At this moment, uncertainty remains the dominant factor.
To be clear, no full-scale conflict has been officially declared, but the current trajectory demands attention. The situation involving Iran, the United States, and Israel is a reminder of how interconnected global stability truly is. Regional tensions can quickly become international concerns. We will continue monitoring developments and provide verified updates as more information becomes available. For in-depth coverage on global conflicts, military strategy, and international affairs, stay informed and stay prepared. Thank you for watching.